How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane, and I'm here to give you another Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Swordsmith Village arc episode review. Today's episode is episode 5, entitled Bright Red Sword. So before I go any further, please do not forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this one. Man, where do I even... So I'm breaking this episode down by 3 parts. The Tokito side, Kanjiro side, and the Tanjiro side. I'm sorry, Kanroji side, and then the Tanjiro side. So let's deal with the Tokito side first, right? Because the episode starts off with him, and he has Kotetsu, goes and save Hanamori, easily kills the pot demon that's trying to get him. We find out that Tanjiro actually put in a word with Hanamori about Tokito, saying, I think you should get along with him, because he said, I need you to make me a sword. And he was very surprised that he already had one ready, because the blade he has is chipped. And he's like, okay, so Tanjiro did that. Wow. And they just got to go to the shed and get it. By the time they get there, Tokito can already sense the demon. The vase rolls into eye shot. Gyokko, the 5th upper rank demon, appears, and this dude's sick. Like, before he kills them, he wants to show them his work of art. His work of art is 5 different swordsmiths who initially I thought they were dead. No, they're unfortunately still alive. You see their bodies twitching, and he's mutilated and deformed them. And throughout this whole part of this episode, we see more of these guys' faces. They seem like normal, handsome dudes, right? And I didn't write their names down in my notes, but both Kotetsu and Hanamori were calling out their names, and he twists the blade and makes one of them, their eyes just still has the mask on, blood spurting, in pain. They're both crying, and they're like, don't do anymore. And it's crazy because you could see Tokito be visibly pissed because his hands tighten. Other than that, he just stone face. Goes in to attack the guy. No, almost gets the neck. By the way, when he moves, the mist is with him, so pretty cool. Moves in for the neck blow. Dude's in another pot. Tokito's so smart, he's like, okay, so this one must be able to get hurt by his neck, and the pots don't matter, unlike the other little demons that are running around. So in other words, if I cut him on his neck, he's actually going to die, because he keeps evading. And when he goes in and slashes a pot, the thing appears in another pot, and he's like, where are they coming from? They're just like magically appearing. And of course, Gyokko, these demon quirks, he's getting pissed that he's not letting him finish talking about his artwork, blah 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 blah. He summons 2 giant beta fish, and the attack I think it was called needlefish kill. Shoots needles. Tokito's on the roof, so doesn't do much there, but turns towards Kotetsu and Hanamori. They're about to get hit, and you think Hanamori takes the blow for Kotetsu. No, Tokito comes in, blocks him, but he has needles all in him, and so he's like, look. By the way, he doesn't even flinch when this happens. He just tells him, look, you're in the way, go hide. And Gyokko starts berating him, saying, you're going to lose your life because you can feel the poison of my needles. Of course, there's poison in the needles. You can feel the poison of my needles, and you're going to give up your life for these that are worthless. And it triggers a flashback in him, and he remembers someone else saying it, sounding just like that, with very ugly teeth. And while Gyokko is taunting him, he goes in for another attack. But this dude, when he cuts off one of the little baby hands, which, by the way, when he does his moves, he did a double clap with the baby hands. Crazy. He does water prison no jutsu. Literally, it's water prison pot, which apparently solves the issues of fighting high-ranking demon slayers, Hashiras, because they can't do breathing techniques because they're underwater. And so he's just going to try to suffocate him. I'm actually very interested in seeing how Tokito gets out of this one. I think it's actually spoiled in the intro how he's going to get out of it a little bit. I got an idea, but yeah. So next part, we're going to go to Mitsuri Kanroji. The village is under attack. Ringing the bells, like, protect our elders, protect the chief. You see people getting slashed and ate up, and they're trying their best. Here she comes in. Her blade is like a whip. It's like a ribbon. She's like a ribbon dancer almost, but this thing is super long, super sharp. She's super fast. She's moving through, cutting. First of all, I don't even know how she was able to learn that they die from the pots, but that's good, quick intuition. So she's moving through, just slicing, killing. And as a matter of fact, a few of the swordsmiths go, oh man, she's so cute. You forget that she's really strong, really fast. I guess that's what a Hashira is. And they ask her, go protect the chief. The chief and one of his other guards are in the clutches of a massive version of those fish. This one with 4 pots. So 4 pots boss, right? One of his other guards tries to, save him, gets smashed down, half of his mask breaks. That's the first time we kind of see like, oh, these guys are just normal people, kind of handsome-ish kind of guys, right? But he's like, I don't know what to do because the leader is starting to cough up blood through his mask. Here comes Kanroji, here to save the day. Talks about, hey, you probably have internal damage. You stay there. She has a love breathing, and she does her love breathing technique. First form, first love's shiver. And she says this cool ass Sailor Moon like line where she goes, my heart would never flutter for someone who needlessly takes someone's life. Cuts all the pots, thing dies. She catches the leader, and we get our only funny moment of this episode where he's like, to be in the arms of a beautiful young lady. And she's like, oh, village elder. And the other guy's like, hey, can I at least hold your hand? Because, like, I fell on my head. And they're kind of like a little bit of bickering there. Kind of funny. Interesting thing to note. The one guy could tell that the chief Tecchin, he's the one that made her blade. Because he heard stories of that long, unique looking blade. More on that later. Now on the Tanjiro side, this is where stuff gets real. He smells something while he's unconscious, and our girl Nezuko here is running with him on her shoulders. Because remember, the demons knocked them both out. She came to first. Lightning bolts are striking down. It hits them both. And before the Hatengu crow one comes down to swipe and slash, he grabs her and runs down a hallway. So while he's running, the one with the fan is going to The one with the fan is going down to chase them, waving the fan, destroying different parts. And unfortunately, the next stretch of hallway is super long. Now, Tanjiro's just trying to get distance so he can figure out a way how to, get them all in one blow, right? Dude does a double fan tap, basically explodes most of this manor and sending them flying. But Nezuko here grabs Tanjiro's sword before they go flying. Now, she's under some rubble. And the whole time he's trying to tell her, let go of my blade so you can get up and get out. And her blood is constantly getting on it. And it ignites, her demon blood art ignites on this blade. And this is where we get the title of our episode. It becomes a bright red sword. It is called give me a moment, an exploding blood sword. Instantly, Tanjiro gets inherited blood memories of the person that looks like him, and I guess the person that's supposed to be his wife, talking about, oh, it's, when samurais blades, the pitch black blade can turn bright red. Who would have guessed it? And he sees the samurai's back with the same earrings. Apparently he had a black blade. I have a black blade. The fire is ignited on it. And then we get an inspirational thing from him. Internal. I love this internal inspiration. Like, he's pumping himself up because he says, you think you may have gotten stronger, and he's attributing his blade being like that because of Nezuko's blood. Now his blade is bright red. And he says you may think you've gotten stronger, but there's always even more powerful demons. He's only flesh and blood and is scarred and battered, but you know, every time someone comes to his aid, they keep him alive, and he must meet their expectations. And we get the image of Giyu, Master Uradaka. I didn't even remember his name typing that out. Wow. We see Zenitsu, Inosuke. We see Rengoku's his Hakusho. We don't see him, but we see Rengoku's jacket on the far left side of the screen, and then we see Uzui. And he's like, everyone who's helped me out has had one wish and one desire, is to defeat demons. And this reminds me of one of the few parts of Rise of Skywalker that could have been cool. I seen the concept art of this. Everyone's hands touch Tanjiro's back, and he's pumped up. He's ready to go. It's time to do some demon slaying. So the reason why the little Hatengu the four heartbeats, the reason why they haven't gotten him is because all the rubble, all the destruction has made a deep debris, mist, and fog. So he stands up, right blade. They see him. The bird one goes in first, and the red one, in his mind, he says Muzen's blood starts to activate, and he sees memories of a bright red sword, right? And he sees the image of that same swordsman over Tanjiro. It's kind of like an oversoul almost from oh my goodness, not Soul Eater, from Shaman King. And it's amazing looking. Kind of reminds me of an archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh. I forget the zombies that have like samurai blades and stuff like that, but that's neither here nor there. And he sees this image over him, and Tanjiro's mark gets bigger. And now he's about to do Hinokami Kagura, Sun Halo Dragon. This man's blade, burning with the intensity of a sun, breathing the flames, comes through, cuts the first head off, moving around, cuts the second head, which is the fan one, that jerk. Then he cuts the red one's head off, and it's called Head Dance. And it's a big ass dragon, and it looks amazing. Look, I do some writing myself, and I've thought up moves that look like that, so it made me very giddy to see in animation something like that I've imagined before. That's probably the coolest move now, right? Like the water dragon one was cool. This is much cooler. And we get an explanation for this attack because he thinks back to the one blow he did against Gyatoro, where he had to push harder than he ever pushed before. How his body was to the limit. He felt like he was on fire, and I think he's learning how to activate his Super Saiyan mode. He's remembering all that to get the mark to be bigger. And now he's like, okay, well, I needed to get all four. Maybe Genya got the fourth one, and we see the body of the fourth one against a tree, stabbed into Genya, and Genya has half of its head. But the thing is, it's not a cut. Maybe he shot it off. Who knows? But it's looking at Tanjiro. Tanjiro's looking at him. And Genya turns around, and his hair is wild. His eyes are black. And Tanjiro's like, he kind of looks like... That's where our episode ends right there. He looks like a demon, yeah. The homie looks like a demon. Insane. Kind of like... Yusuke Urameshi when he got his demon form with the wild hair and stuff like that. So I wonder if that's like Genya's whole thing, like his ability turns him into a literal demon to slay demons, and that's why he does the mantra. Maybe that's his family's blood curse. Don't really know what sword style he has besides, gun and blade. So hopefully Tanjiro doesn't have to fight fighter friendly. I hope not. The Taisho secret for this episode was very cute. Tanjiro and Nezuko, even though she can't speak, they're wondering, how do you sheath your sword? And she does a little joke pretending to be a witch. She's like, purple potato. And she's like, I'm kidding. And she does this cool, it's like a Sailor Moon sequence. I told you it's going to come back up. Like, she winks, spins it around, and sink. And they clap and applause. And he's like, that's amazing. You're so cool. She's like, all right, for you guys, I'll do it one more time. She does the whole thing again. They're going crazy for it because they love it. It's awesome. It's cool. It is actually quite impressive that they animate that, because how the heck do you get something super long and ribbon snake like, and just like, that is impressive. And she's like, okay, I'll do it one more time, but I'm just doing it just for you, Tanjiro. And before she goes there, she tells us the next episode is, don't you want to be a Hashira? So make sure I got that right. Oh, aren't you going to be a Hashira? So I'm pretty sure that might be for Genya. Hopefully Genya Polywog is okay. Then she does do it again, but it's a little bit more cartoony. It's very cute, very adorable. To note, I did see somewhere how old the Hashiras were. I think she's the youngest one, because she's 19, and like they're from between 19 to 26. Relatively young, but when you think about this era in Japanese history, and the fact that they fight demons. Like, yeah, and they have to fight these upper rank. The lower ranks were giving them issues and they took them out, but they fight these upper rank demons. It's quite impressive that some of them make it. The oldest one is like 26, 28, that they make it that far. Wow. I know Gyokko, he wants to cripple the Demon Slayer so that maybe they can even get to the master, the Demon Slayer's master. One of the other things that was crazy, because you would think, how come they don't have like Demon Slayers protecting the village? They actually do have Demon Slayers protecting the chief, but all of them were murdered horribly by the giant fish with 4 pots. Like, you see one unidentified body, one male body, and one female body that's just, they're just ripped and torn to shreds. It's weird, right? Because these are NPCs, but just like in the Forest of Death, the string one, where that's like the ending, the last 5 episodes of season 1, like the very defining moment of, oh man, these guys are actually super good. That was kind of like a turning point, if that makes sense. Because remember, we saw the water, hairpin stealing, killing demons. We saw the one who banged on the drums. I think he was a lower rank demon too. So we got, and the string guy was the upper of the lower ranks. So we got to understand how strong these things were. But that was a nice little turning point. That's where we got to see the Hinokami Kagura for the first time. That I loved when I was trying to get through that first season to get to season 2. I loved what I was watching, but when that popped up, that solidified this series for me. So yeah, it's interesting how far we came. I know that probably came out of the blue for some of you, but yeah, I love how far we're coming. So all in all, I gotta give this a 5 out of 5. Like, we have 3 distinct things going on at one time. They may have done, like they do, a jump back and forth, but you're not lost. You don't feel like, oh man, why are they only giving this so much time? No, they gave some equal time. Stuff is cool. 3 different cool characters doing things at one time. We got to see a new technique from Tanjiro. He's my favorite character, so yeah, just fantastic all around. 5 out of 5. But let me know what you thought of the episode in the comment section down below. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this one. When I say comment, I actually do want to hear from you guys. I like it. I like it a lot. With that being said, thank you for taking some time out to listen to me talk about Demon Slayer. Please take care of yourselves. Be good, be blessed. Wash those hands. Be good to yourselves, be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk. And remember, the people out there that care about you, you're never alone. If you're feeling down, you're not out. Reach out to somebody. There's someone out there that would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. I got socials right there in the description. Feel free to follow me and hit me up. Well, guys, I'm Shane. I can't wait for next week's episode. So my Taisho secret is that I will see you next time.